Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
I'm not doing it just for my bar. I'm doing it for my community because they are commuting here and they want to make a life here.
Some controversy brewing in West Fargo over a liquor license that was not renewed. The city says the bar violated noise-related ordinances.
Yet as Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero reports, the owner claims she and her customers are being targeted because of their race.
Rochelle Boa says she opened the Awake Lounge just off 13th Avenue last year as a new party spot for West Fargo. And she says it's been hard staying in business.
We was here this winter and it was dead. When I tell you one car was not outside, we had to dip into our own personal working money to pay bills here.
And that's not all. She's pointing the finger at the city.
Why is this such a problem?
The West Fargo Liquor Control Board has denied renewing her license. In November, it was suspended for 2 weeks after residents complained the noise kept them up at night. Aboa pleaded guilty to hosting noisy parties and gatherings. This week, for the same reasons, the city said no to renewing her liquor license.
This is a bar. I applied for a bar that's supposed to have music. A bar as a whole has some type of music.
Aboa says the decision regarding her license was made because she's black, adding that her customers were harassed by police.
A blind person can tell that this is a racial situation. They do not want us here. They do not want us here.
We asked the city of West Fargo to comment on allegations that she made that she was being targeted because she's black. The city says that they follow the process and that she had violated several city ordinances. Aboa says she's done several things to reduce the noise, including removing some speakers.
We used to have a speaker here. We used to have a speaker here.
Despite her efforts, unless she and the city can reach some common ground enabling her to regain her liquor license, she won't be able to operate. In West Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
The city of West Fargo also says Awake Lounge can appeal the Liquor Control Board's decision of not renewing their license. The owner says she plans to do that immediately.
A judge has thrown out a discrimination lawsuit filed by 11 former UND women's hockey players seeking to have the program reinstated. The complaint was filed last summer and alleges the university violated Title IX laws that prohibit women from being treated differently because of gender. School administrators cited budget woes when the program was dropped in the spring of 2017.
Drivers in Grand Forks get ready for a detour tomorrow, especially if you utilize University Avenue. Starting right away at 7 a.m., crews will be closing University Avenue from North 42nd Street to Stanford Road. Crews are going to be continuing to work on the installation of the new steam plant on campus. The section of University Avenue is expected to be back open on Friday, June 28th.
The owners of the highly contentious Dakota Access Pipeline are seeking approval to expand the pipeline. As proposed, the move would expand the capacity of the line by up to 500,000 barrels of oil per day. There isn't a timeline for when the expansion will be completed. It won't include adding any more pipeline, but moving more oil through the existing pipe.
When you look at the long-term markets for crude oil, the Gulf Coast is the optimum destination for crude oil in North America. And so Dakota Access does provide direct service down to the Gulf Coast where it can either be consumed or exported.
The work would involve installing more pumping stations along the line.
The Trump administration is being sued for lifting restrictions on mining from the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness in northern Minnesota. The Trump administration last year canceled a proposed 20-year ban on mining in the Boundary Waters watershed. Last month, it renewed its mineral right leases for the proposed Twin Metals copper-nickel mine near Eli. The Wilderness Society says in its lawsuit, federal agencies have failed for months to respond to its requests under the Freedom of Information Act for needed documents.
The drumbeat of conflict between the U.S. and Iran beats louder tonight after Iran's shoot down of an unmanned and unarmed American surveillance drone.
The Pentagon releasing images of the massive drone as it plunges into the Persian Gulf. The two sides disputing whether it was flying in Iranian or international airspace.
The incident is coming on the heels of those fiery oil tanker attacks. President Donald Trump tonight striking a wait-and-see tone. Hallie Jackson has the latest details.
This new Pentagon video shows smoke trailing from an American drone after it was shot down by Iran, its latest and most dangerous provocation, risking retaliation from the United States.
Mr. President, will you strike Iran, sir? Will you?
Defense officials call the strike on the $110 million unmanned surveillance drone an unprovoked attack in international waters, building the case by releasing this map. It shows the drone's location in the middle of a key strategic waterway, the Strait of Hormuz, well away from Iran's coastline. But Iran claims the drone was in its territory. Releasing this video, it says, of its missile taking out the drone.
Iran made a big mistake. This drone was in international waters. Clearly, we have it all documented.
The president's not ruling out some kind of military action with an already volatile region on edge, but he's seeming to suggest a way out, pinning blame not on the entire Iranian government, but maybe a misguided general.
I find it hard to believe it was intentional, if you want to know the truth. I think that it could have been somebody who was loose and stupid that did it. We had nobody in the drone.
Are you still open?
It would have made a big difference, let me tell you. Would have made a big, big difference.
Iran's latest escalation comes after the U.S. accused it of attacking 6 oil tankers, and Iraqi officials say Iran fired a rocket at an ExxonMobil plant there just this week. The U.S. has sent 1,000 more troops to the region to try to deter the regime. Lawmakers wondering where this goes next, huddling at the White House late today.
We must act in a way that does de-escalate and does not escalate the tensions and the situation there.
The drone that was shot down was an RQ-4 Global Hawk, similar to the ones stationed at the Grand Forks Air Force Base. Officials there would not comment on the sensitive matter. Some reports suggest the drone involved was an older one, while Grand Forks has newer versions of the RQ-4.
Historians recently uncovered a rare piece of history in an old building in Nebraska. The 38-star flag was only used for 12 years, and it's North Dakota's fault that it became obsolete. It's more than 8 feet wide and 16 feet long and in fair condition, with a few tears and stains. It existed between 1877 and 1889. Museum curators in Nebraska found the flag in a vault in a basement. And now, as you can imagine, they take very special care of the flag.
It was only the flag of the country for about 13 years. And after that time, they didn't make them anymore.
It was on November 2nd of 1889 when North Dakota and South Dakota became the 39th and 40th states.
A warning tonight surrounding those summertime toys that appear harmless. We're talking about baby pools, water guns, and even slip and slides.
A consumer advocacy group just released a list of the most dangerous classic summer toys. And as Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer explains, the next 2 months can be very menacing for young children.
Bouncy balls, jump ropes, and even these miniature golf clubs. All things you can find right now on store shelves. And don't forget a classic summertime favorite, water guns.
July and August are always the highest rates of preventable accidents that occur.
But nurse practitioner Natalie Augenbaugh tells us some of these toys can be very dangerous. In fact, during the summer, they see a lot of kids getting injured from preventable outdoor accidents like riding a scooter or bike. And the biggest concern, drowning.
Ages 1 to 4, the most common fatal injuries that happen to kids are from drowning.
That's why baby pools are on this latest list of the most dangerous toys for this summer.
Does that surprise you at all?
No, not in the least. You know, growing up with kids, like nieces and nephews, and then working with them now, we have to be really careful what kids can and can't have.
Jessica Hazelton works with kids for her job, and she tells us you'd be surprised how toys that appear innocent can be very harmful.
Like the ones I always see are the long, thin tubes that you... And those can kind of hurt if they're done with enough force.
So what's the answer? How can you keep your kids safe this summer while they enjoy being a kid?
Parent supervision and making sure you're really reading your labels of how to use your products appropriately.
On top of that, Jessica Hazelton suggests checking the age range of the toy.
Kids are kids. You know, they don't follow directions.
And being mindful of the other children that could be picking up that toy to play with. In Fargo, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
Trampoline parks, all-terrain vehicles, pool covers, and defective pool drains were also included in the list of summertime items that pose a risk to children.
Despite the wet weather, many still grabbed their umbrellas and headed out for this evening's cruising night on Cheyenne. The event is organized by Topper's Custom Car Club in the city of West Fargo. Classic cars, motorcycles, food vendors, and the community line Cheyenne Street from Main Avenue to 7th Avenue to show off the best classic cars in the region. This year marks the 10th anniversary of this event.
As a resident of West Fargo, I think it's great because I get it all the time from everybody about how great this is and what a community event it is, because it's almost like a street fair. When it's not raining out here, this place is packed.
The next cruise night will be July 18th, and Barnes says he hopes the weather will be better.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
And here's a live look outside the Valley News Live Storm Team Skycam Network shot in Fargo, and the rain has moved away, and we're actually seeing a little bit of clearing now as the sun is just about set. Current temperatures around the region into the upper 50s, into Lakes Country closer to 60, out toward Fargo and Jamestown, staying into the upper 50s, Valley City near 60 into the Devil's Lake Basin, but a little warmer across the northern valley where they saw less rain today into the lower 60s, also some low 60s across portions of northwestern Minnesota. The winds are starting to die down. Wind speeds around 10 to 20 miles per hour. Again, mainly from a southeasterly direction. Here's where we're seeing the rain, mainly across Lakes Country. We're dry into northwestern Minnesota. The Devil's Lake Basin, Southern Valley mainly dry, and so is Jamestown. The rain has weakened since around the 6 o'clock news. The worst of it, just some light showers stretching across most of our Lakes Country area counties. That's continuing to weaken and move off to the east out of our viewing area. A couple areas of low pressure, one off to our south, one well off to our north and to our west, giving some severe weather off to our south and off to our west. We have this frontal boundary that has to make its way through our viewing area, and it's going to do that as we go through the day tomorrow night. And it'll spark off some strong to possibly severe thunderstorms. This evening, though, nothing to worry about. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Any rain weakening, moving off to the east. Low temperatures tonight into the upper 50s. We have a mainly dry night ahead, mainly dry through Friday morning with partly to mostly cloudy skies. Then by the afternoon, we're watching for some thunderstorm development. Right now, it looks like the storms are initiating just off to our west. They're going to form into a line and move into our viewing area, reaching the Red River Valley around 8 to 9 p.m. and then continuing to move off into north central Minnesota, where they will weaken. So around 2 to 9 p.m. is the best chance of seeing some severe weather, large hail, damaging winds, possibly tornadoes, slight risk of severe weather across most of our viewing area, surrounded by a marginal risk. Marginal means 1 or 2 storms may become severe. A slight risk indicates more widespread activity. That's what we're going to be watching as we go through the day tomorrow. High of 74 in the Fargo area, staying cool for this time of year. We should be near 80, mostly cloudy skies, with the showers and thunderstorms moving through into the afternoon and evening. Temperatures ranging from the upper 60s to mid 70s, depending on where you are. And we left the hour by hour off around midnight on Saturday. We are going to see that frontal boundary get set up over central Minnesota. So for the overnight into Saturday morning and even into Saturday afternoon, the best chance of seeing some showers to start your weekend into portions of north central Minnesota. The further off to the west you get, the more sunshine you'll see, and temperatures starting to warm up for the day on Saturday, and they'll continue that trend going through the rest of the 7-day period. Here's the photo of the day. It's called Water View in Itasca State Park. Thank you, Max, for this one. You use it in the background of the 7-day forecast. 75 for the day on Saturday with those morning showers possible. Upper 70s Sunday and Monday with a slight chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise partly cloudy. Then mostly sunny to partly cloudy Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Finally getting warmer. Temperatures rising through the 80s, and we could be into the upper 80s to near 90 by this time next week.
Some areas might still need rain, so there it is.
Yeah, it looks like we got a good amount of rain from today and what we're going to get tomorrow, and now we're ready for a nice dry and warmer weather pattern.
There we go. Thanks.
Up next on Valley News Live, 10 at 10, serious trouble for a teenager after an e-cig explodes in his face. The details on his injuries after this break.